Welcome to this week's Bushel Up. We're wrapping up the month of August here. Day late, moved my daughter out to Phoenix. For all of you who complained last week, it was 118 degrees. It is a dry heat. It said it felt like 118 degrees, but I seem to like the warm weather. So nice cool morning here, definitely enjoying that. As we wrap up August, we'll just talk about some of the things we're seeing out there. I know I'm getting a few phone calls, some concerns about ears drooping. Maybe premature dent on some kernels. What's that mean? How bad did we hurt ourselves with the heat last week? Traditionally, when we get that late hot weather, we will see some of the stalk diseases, the crown rots, pop up. As that plant's under stress, those sometimes those early infections can take over. Seen that in the past over my years of experience. That doesn't mean we necessarily shut off water or give up. I look at those plants. My favorite tool is go to your local garden store, get yourself one of these shears. And what I love to do is go out here and just cut plants off. You can cut them off right at the base and really look to see if we have any disease, any discoloration. This plant looks healthy. Obviously, I've had some drought stress on it. It's kind of on the edge of my field. But when you see those ears droop, don't just assume it's a stalk disease or that it was stress. Sometimes it is just genetic. Sometimes we get that longer ear shank. Maybe it means you have really good yields out there. So that's kind of a sign that maybe there's some stress. There's been maybe some cannibalization go on in that plant. Maybe we didn't have enough water. Maybe there's a nutrient deficiency. So like always, don't assume from the road, or don't assume just if you walk in a field and see something. We got to do a little digging, get to the bottom of the problem. Seeing some real interesting things with potash in fields that have had good potash, maybe hanging in there a little longer than those that didn't. So that's something we're definitely working on out here, have been working on the last couple of years, and we'll talk about it at our Owner's Acres Tour coming up next week. So we do invite you to come out Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Obviously, we always like it if you pre-register, but we've got our food situation under control where we can adjust any crowd size. So if you don't know what your plans are coming up after this weekend, whether you'll be kicking pivots on Tuesday, hey, please feel free to come out either day, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll be out here at 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock each day with a meal to follow both days. So love to talk to you. When we look at soybeans, we're seeing our Group 2 soybeans at Central City start to mature out. So I do remind everybody, it's my favorite topic, irrigation. Don't shut off early. I like to water all the way through those leaves dropping on beans, trying to keep that bean size up. That is very critical, is that we don't shrink that seed down. That's where a lot of our yield comes from. When we look at kernel depth on corn, even though I've got some denting here, that doesn't mean I'm done. I barely have a starch line even getting started on this. So I've still got a long ways to go, and even though you see some denting, that doesn't mean we're done putting kernel depth on. That doesn't mean we're not packing weight into that plant. Some hybrids just do that. Sometimes stress conditions cause that a little bit early, but do not give up on that. Otherwise, keep an eye out. It's late, but we're seeing some southern rust. We're seeing more reports of tar spot. It's more about mapping and knowing those areas for future management than it is management this year. But keep an eye out. Don't give up looking on your fields. I know we're all tired, so hopefully you enjoy this weekend. We look forward to seeing you next week in person, talking about your farms, your operations, and what we're seeing out here.